Hi, welcome to this episode of Cook and Chat with TheBellas. I am your host, Funke Bella, aka Mrs. Fabulous, aka Fabulous Funky, the one and only wife of MC Tunde Bella. Welcome to my kitchen. If this is your first time here, welcome! And if you're a returning subscriber, a returning friend, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to present this new series to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite you to the beginning of a beautiful series. This series is called Men That Cook. And to kick off this series, I have got the one, the only, the king of the entire household, the father of myself, the father of many nations. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting down, get up. Boys and girls, if you've got a tambourine, get it out and jam your hands together as I welcome in the kitchen my father, Pastor Femi Idowu. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I know you cannot wait to see what Pastor Femi Idowu would cook for us today. I will give him a minute to introduce himself. But before I allow him speak, and wait, just give me a minute. Before I allow him speak, this series is kick-started by my dad, mainly because we're setting the pace and we're making it big from the start. Hence, we've brought the head of the clan himself to kickstart this series. And this series is all about men that cook. Are you a man that cooks? Leave it in the comment section below. Do you cook? Do you cook for yourself? Do you cook for your family? Pastor Femi Idowu is going to show us one or two tips and tricks up his sleeve. Daddy, welcome to the show. A round of applause for Daddy. Thank you so much for agreeing to cook on the show today.
Yes.
We are glad to have you.
It's
Thank
indeed
you.
a pleasure, a privilege. Thanks for inviting me over to your kitchen.
Thank you for coming.
I'm so excited. I've never missed any of your shows.
Thank you.
It's a remarkable show. You do the main things that should be done for broadcasting in terms of educating people, informing people, entertaining people. And you wrap all of that in this, all of that come up as you cook. So that's glad to be here. So when it comes to cooking, I'll go a little further because I took interest in cooking essentially because my dad also cooked. He was a busy civil servant, but he cooked. Got us together and we cooked, whether my mom was at home or not, he still cooked. And over time, I've developed a lot of interest in cooking for so many reasons. Cooking is a science, cooking is an art. The mere fact that you are able to put things together and think about what to come out, you are designing dishes. And then you are going into the science of it, how to mix. It's like you're in a laboratory kind of. You're mixing things in the right proportions, and you're getting to know what goes inside your body. Because listen, we are what we eat. And if that's the case, I don't know why, as a man, you will not want to get interested in what you eat, what your wife is eating, what your children, your grandchildren, if you're at that stage. And so I've taken a lot of interest. Plus, it helps to develop your emotional intelligence. As you put all of these things together, you must be calm enough, you must be calculating enough to know when a dodo is brown enough, when this is done. So it helps you, and emotional intelligence, emotional quotient is an area that I believe men need to pay a lot of attention to, much more because if you want to lead, these are things. This is one of the major things you need to go into. So
well,
that's just in
we
a
haven't
nutshell.
even started the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not sitting down, please grab yourself a seat. Put your feet on something, as I like to say. Get yourself a cup of tea, because as well as learning to cook this delicacy today, we will be taking some hints, some words of wisdom from Daddy, and we will not just let this cooking just go to waste like that. We will make the most of this time. So make yourself comfortable, sit and come with us on this beautiful journey today. So Daddy,
Yep.
what would you be making for us? At least we are enjoying the food today. You at home will be blessed by the alchemy.
Yeah. Well,
Can you please tell us?
Let me just say quickly, just for just a line, that I can cook all things.
Oh, wow.
That's
Through Christ that strengthens me.
There's hardly any particularly African dishes, cook it to a good standard. But what I'm cooking today is special. It's special and it's dundun and dodo.
Right.
Maybe you translate that for the benefit.
So dundun is fried yam and dodo is fried plantain.
Yeah, but it's on a healthy basis. And then we'll be having that with a sauce, which is, it's my design. I've come up with all of this. It's the anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tapping too. Anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce.
Yeah.
You cannot wait to see this sauce.
Yeah, so that's what I'm cooking today. But
Right.
it needs to be emphasized that I can cook all things.
I can cook all things through Christ that strengthens me. So, Daddy, can you please go over the ingredients? What are the things we need to make this dundun and dodo with anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce?
Yeah. So, this is a tuber of yam. Okay. We'll be slicing at the appropriate time. These are plantains.
Yep.
That's what we'll be using for the dodo. And then we have eggs here. Of course, I believe you know what eggs do for the body. A lot of protein and the rest of it. Tomatoes come handy, in terms of what they supply. Vitamin A for the eyes and the rest of it. We have mackerel. Mackerel is good for your body because it's improving your endurance. It's not good for you to look 70 when you are 50, for example. That's why you need to take more interest in knowing bits and pieces about this and taking more interest in cooking for yourself, cooking for others as well. I'll be using a little bit of seasoning, some seasonings. This is turmeric, and then turmeric contains antioxidants. There are different sources through which you can get turmeric, but supplements like the in thing now. It's good for your skin, for those who have arthritis and the rest of it. These are things we need to know, and also it supports the respiratory system. We have ginger here, which is also an antioxidant, and then a little bit of salt. We have pepper, we have onion, and onion, I believe all of us know how onions work, but in terms of my understanding and why I love onions is that it helps with cholesterol levels and it helps with the heart. So that's what we'll be.
We're talking about health. We're talking about being aware of what you put in your body. At the end of the day, if we haven't learned anything over the past couple of months, over the past year or so, we know it's important to be aware of what goes in your body because it will keep you going on the rainy day. So we have a spread and we're going to start. I know you can't wait to see this. We're going to start now. We're going to start cooking. So Daddy, what do we do first to make this special dish?
We'll start with the dodo.
Okay.
And then we'll slice the dodo. Then for operational reasons, we need to start with dodo and then go to the yam because there are things I'll explain as we go on.
Okay.
And then we go to the sauce.
Okay.
put everything together. I hope somebody is getting hungry already.
I am hungry already. Right, so we're going to start with the plantain, and we're going to slice the plantain now. Okay, so Daddy,
Yep.
you said the first thing we're going to do to prepare this dish is to cut the plantain.
Yeah, the plantains are washed already.
Yeah. So how are we going to cut?
What I do is cut it off at the tips.
Okay.
And slice a little bit to get the plantain out. And then I do round.
Ah.
That's what my mom used to do. So
Okay. So we're going to cut all the plantains up round. Okay, so Daddy, we're done cutting the plantains, ready to fry. But ladies and gentlemen, before we start frying our plantains, you know, Daddy told us earlier about being conscious of what you put in your body, what you eat. Also, be conscious of what you drink. Hence, I'm bringing to your attention our drink for today. So we're going to have our dundun dodo and the special sauce that is going to make with Van Pearl malt drink. Van Pearl malt drink is a rich and nutritious drink. It's a healthy drink that you can take at lunchtime, at dinner time, at any time of the day. So if you want to be conscious of the kinds of drink you put in your system, I'll suggest you switch your drinks to Van Pearl malt drink. They're rich and nutritious and they'll keep you going. Right. So Daddy,
Yep.
We're done cutting the plantains. Now we're going to start frying. So we're frying in sunflower oil, and Daddy is going to show you a skill that he has.
So the way to go is put the plantain in bits inside. The oil is
It's hot.
is a little bit hot already, and then as you put in, you kind of try and spread a little bit. This is why it's important. You need to be very careful, concentrate. The skills that any cook must have, so that you know, pay attention to what's going on in here, because everything must be on point.
Yep.
You have to be painstaking, make sure everything is the way they should be. You don't treat things lightly in the kitchen. The kitchen is a sacred place. The kitchen is a powerhouse, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Daddy, let's just leave the plantains there frying nicely there. I just want ladies and gentlemen at home to hear. I want them to go with the best today. So Daddy, can you please tell us a little bit about you, just like a insight to you?
Well, I'm just quickly thinking, where do I start? Born in Ibadan over 70 years ago, and been all over the place. Been to different parts of the world to study, holiday and the rest of it. I studied essentially in Nigeria, started studying in Nigeria, one of the greatest universities.
Great Ife.
And then later I went to America, to Howard University in Washington, D.C. And it's the same university that Kamala Harris attended.
Yeah.
Got my master's in communication there, came back to journalism. I was in journalism before I left, came back, I was on study leave with pay, came back into journalism and did quite an outstanding thing as a journalist. I need to say that I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I need to say something.
But it's okay.
Actually, it's on record that I'm the first political editor on television in Nigeria. We got that done in 1978.
So being on a cooking show will just come naturally to you.
So, and then I've done quite a lot. I've gone to university administration. I was head of corporate services of Pastor Femi Idowu University before we relocated to the United Kingdom. And I've been doing quite a lot here as well. I worked for the council before I retired. I had to diversify. And in retirement, before retirement, I've been in ministry all the while and done quite a lot in ministry. At the moment, I'm the prayer and pastoral lead for Transform Work UK. We support Christians in the workplace across the United Kingdom. You can practice your faith in the workplace, but you must know what to do. It is appropriate practice. We'll have time to talk about it. Yeah. I'm into chaplaincy as well. I'm a volunteer chaplain at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. With COVID, I stepped back a little bit, but COVID is clearing. And then going back in full force. Wow. And then God's given us, as a family, a ministry, Christians United in Prayer, COP, which I coordinate. So generally, that's the profile.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, Daddy is another good example of retired but not retired. Can you imagine the list that he went through? Even though he's retired, he's still doing this, that, and the other. As I said in a previous video, when we had a retired, active person on the show, you do what you have to do when you have to do it. It doesn't matter what age you're at, what stage you're at in your life. Just do what it is you've been called to do. Just be a blessing to your generation. Daddy is being a blessing to his generation. He's actually being a blessing in this kitchen right now, because what is making my belly is my belly is anxiously waiting. So we'll carry on frying the plantains.
Yeah. The plantain is now ready. It will be ready in a few seconds. But one of the things I want to emphasize is the need for everyone what we learn from this is being tolerant, to persevere, make sure you stay with it, make sure you're careful, and keep an eye on it diligently, and then so that you get it out at the very right time. Particularly because I do this as a special dish, when my special friends visit. And who are my special friends? My grandchildren, our grandchildren. So you have to pay particular attention to that, and they love whatever grandpa cooks for them.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're now done frying our plantain. Take a look at this perfectly fried plantain by Daddy. Look, take a look. It looks delicious, it looks yummy, and I can tell you I haven't even tried it. I haven't had one. Can you fry plantain without trying it? Oh God. I struggle, but this time around I was really strong. So Daddy, thank you for the plantain.
You're welcome.
So far so very good. And Daddy is also enjoying vanilla flavored vampire malt drink.
Real good.
Real good, real good. We've had it so many times, so we can attest to the taste. So great. So we'd enjoy the drink, we'd enjoy cooking. But Daddy, before we carry on with the next dish, we're going to do the yam next, isn't it?
Yeah.
But before we do that, you mentioned earlier on a few things which I'd like you to just dig a little deeper, please. Just shed some light in.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about Transform Work UK.
Okay, Transform Work UK is a charity, and the essence of the charity is to give support to all Christian workers in the workplace. To know, we don't call it fellowships in the workplace, we call it Christian workplace groups, to know exactly how to practice their Christianity. Christianity is not just about throwing Bibles all over the place. Essentially, what we ask or support people to do is to ensure that they become a major asset to the workplace. Important to note that no matter what, you are there because you are employed due to the skill you have to contribute to that work environment, and that should be number one. You're not employed to pray, you are not employed to start preaching to people and the rest of it. But as you do your work, because particularly in Britain there's freedom of religion within limits, you are allowed to practice your religion. I started I've always been in workplace ministry one way, but formally, as I had a major breakthrough when I worked for the Brent Council here in London. In that work environment, I led a fellowship that started. We started about 4 or 5 of us started, and over a period of about 10 years, the fellowship grew to about 250 people in the workplace. Not one day did we disturb anybody. Not one day did anybody report us that we were doing something. Rather, we were contributing to the development of the workplace through our activities as members of staff. For example, if you are a Christian in the workplace, it must be clear that when there are issues that could tend to some tension within your team, you know what to do to douse the tension, and without having to preach a message. And people know that you are a Christian anyway, so they attribute that to you. But on a formal basis, we will meet once a week. The council gave us a space to meet once a week. It got so good that I never had lunch on my own. My lunchtime I used to offer pastoral services. I had to talk to some people, one person, or the other. So, but that's what we encourage people to do.
And it's really good to break your work day up with something not work related, because we all know about wellness and wholeness and being a complete human being. It's not just being a professional in a field, it's also about doing other things too. So for instance, meeting together at lunchtime to pray, if you have a Christian friend, it is okay. It is actually acceptable to do such things. You just have to follow some laid down rules and regulations. So if somebody is thinking, oh, actually this has been on my mind to do,
get in touch with
how can they get in touch? How can they get more advice, more support? How can they know how to do this properly? Because at the end of the day, we understand that we've been employed to do a job. Our work that we've been employed to do comes first. Other things can come sideways, but how do we go about doing it the proper, acceptable way?
Because what Jesus Christ wants from us is to be light wherever we are. Let your light so shine. And you don't start just blowing tongues on the corridor and you think your light will that's not the way it goes. But if you are interested, we're getting international now. Transform Work UK is established in Italy already, so it's going to change its name, as it were. I'm talking to some people in Nigeria as well, and we go into some other parts of the world, because what we are encouraging is to bring the principles of the Lord Jesus Christ without Bible bashing, but the wisdom that comes from above, which you can use positively without, and let me tell you something, you have to be very inclusive if you are a Christian worker in a workplace. Anybody, whether they are gay or lesbian, whatever they are, you must love them. If you're in the hospital, will you ask for, whether somebody is. So you have to be inclusive. Jesus Christ was completely inclusive, but he was completely Christian, if you will put it that way. So that's the kind of thing we encourage
so they
people
can reach
to do.
you, if they need to reach Transform Work UK for advice, for support.
Website.
So that's
just
www.
Google, just Google Transform Work UK or get any search engine. Type in Transform Work UK and it gives you the website, gives you information about it. It's all over the place.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
So we'll carry on now and we'll start with the YAM. Okay, so Daddy. The next thing to do now is to tackle this yam. So the yam is peeled and just sliced, and Daddy was going to show us all how he cuts his yam. Ladies and gentlemen, your full attention is needed for this step. You really need to see this.
It's like circular, roundish, and then this I got from my mom as well. So we do cut in half.
Cut it in half, yeah.
If you like, you can still go with
1/4.
Okay, let me try 1/4 to improve on my mom's deal.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we finished. I hope you were paying attention to Daddy cutting up the yams. Actually, you can cut your yam up in any shape or any size, isn't it, Daddy? Because you started half in and then you quartered and then you...
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was good to do some shapes that will interest the grandchildren.
yeah,
So it depends on who you are entertaining. Just feel free, be creative.
Yeah.
Different sizes, yeah. This is, different sizes.
So
Just be creative.
it really doesn't matter. And if you're cooking it for yourself, you can even put the slice.
Yeah, just the round kind of.
It really doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way to cut your yams for fries.
Feel free. These are nuts. So be creative and just enjoy what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this. Next thing is to put, I was going to say a pinch of salt, but it's going to
a little bit more than a pinch.
Yeah. But I don't recommend a lot of salt for now. So please, sometimes I don't even put salt at all, but just a little bit. Yep. And then just like it was done in those days. I think it's still been done now.
It's still been done now. We're still shaking.
Yeah. All right. So.
And then we'll start frying.
We're good to go. Yep. So we put all the. You need to be careful here, because when the yam get inside there, they just keep giving you some chemical reactions.
So it takes skill and precision and concentration.
You really need to be careful when you're cooking. You don't get distracted. We're talking here now, but this because we are experienced cooks. So if you're just starting off, know that a lot of care is needed. It's optional, but it's good to put a little bit of water carefully. Makes it cook faster, better. But that is quite optional. And then it's optional as well to cover it so that it can cook better as well. But then feel free.
So we're going to cover it.
Yeah.
And allow it steam and cook nicely.
So that's done.
We'll just try and ignore our yam cooking away on a medium to medium.
Yeah, I recommend medium.
Medium
particularly if you are just starting off. Because I really want to encourage, particularly men. And listen, we can be impatient. So I just want to encourage us to take it easy. One step at a time. So go ahead.
So this just leads me to the next question. I wanted you to advise men out there. So old men, young men, married men, single men. What's your take on men in the kitchen? How can you advise men out there about being in the kitchen?
Well, being in the kitchen is just maybe one aspect, which is very important. But who is a man? Is he just that macho, bodybuilding individual? That's good. You need to strengthen your muscles. You need to look good. You need to keep fit. But then the emotional, I said it earlier on, the emotional content of your character is so important. I have a way of assessing men in terms of emotional quotient. And it's easy. You look at a man, particularly when they have young children, and if they have the capacity and the willingness to stay with those young children, particularly big babies, and take care of babies and the rest of them, they are maturing. I'm not saying they are getting matured, because even at over 70, I believe I'm still maturing and getting better and better. But it's important. It's a way of measuring the emotional intelligence of a man, because emotional intelligence is about being able to manage your own emotions and the emotions of people around you. That's the only way to lead. And for men, we need to learn to lead from the front. And if you want to lead from the front at home, your children must see you as capable of doing whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Paying the bills. And
I love doing dishes, washing dish. You know, we have washing dishwasher, but most of the time, because as I cook, as I wash plates, I'm praying I'm praying, as it were. That's why you'll be having anointed. That's
the next step.
Anointed sauce with all of this when we
so
get
it's
there.
really important for men to be all. You need to be whole.
Versatile.
Yeah.
You know, they need
So
to
it's
be
okay
versatile.
for a man to actually do this stuff.
It's actually very important. You know, I use the example of the Lord Jesus Christ and other leaders. Jesus Christ washed the feet of his disciples. That is humility. When you demonstrate humility to your children, I saw my dad do any form of home domestic chores. Yeah, so it's great. There's nothing in the house that I can't do to, you know. I'm not just helping my wife. We are doing it together. You know, that's the way it should be. And in the kitchen is the area that you can have very meaningful discussions with, you know, with your spouse, and you know, think about things you want to do informally and relax. You don't get to a point of we have to sit down all the time. You know, so relax but it's, you know, you are a macho man if you are working in the kitchen, you know, as you are a macho man if you are on the street, you know, flexing your muscles, as it were.
But yet you can't cook for your family.
Yeah, you can cook.
You're an incomplete man. In the sense of
you know, and that talks about your self-esteem. You know, you esteem yourself no matter where you are. You know who you are. You know who you are, but a great man, a leader, will go. You know, most chief executives around here, they will pick the phone to answer, you know, any random call coming in. That's how to lead. Yeah. So we should, as men, particularly those who are, you know, maybe married fathers now, so that the younger ones look at you, they see good examples, so they become versatile. You know, you cook, you know, the kitchen, then you go to the football field, you play football as well. Yeah. You know, so.
And you pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
You do everything. At the end of the day, we're just encouraging wholeness in men generally. That's the, you know, you mentioned the point earlier on about leadership and taking the lead and showing good examples while leading. I wanted you to just highlight a little bit in your career. You were I remember this very clearly, you were the bureau chief of NTA, but tell us a little bit about your life as a journalist.
That's journalism. I enjoy journalism, and the principles of journalism have helped me all over life. Even in the Christian ministry I run, the tenets of journalism guides what we do. And the key thing is who says what to whom, why, with what effect. If you apply those principles, and you can apply those principles to everything you do, it gives you good results. You know, because if you are a pastor and you cannot do what I call in-depth analysis, which is what the journalist is, if you cannot do an in-depth analysis of the Bible, you will just be preaching superficially. So journalism has helped me a lot in terms of skills, life skills, because it takes, you know, you have to know a little bit about everything before you can be a good journalist. And that's so you take interest in
fashion,
everything. So that you know, when you are starting off, you never know which kind of assignments you're going to cover and what you will be, you know, what you need to. The more versatile you are in terms of knowledge in different areas, the easier it is for you to be of use and of help to the public that you are serving. You are able to simplify stories so that they can understand what you're saying, and you know. So journalism has been so. As a bureau chief, I was in charge of 9 states of the Federation in Nigeria in those days, and that means traveling and going. That's another level of education on its own. The other thing I say is that, you know, being in journalism granted me the opportunity to meet very big people, heads of state, traditional ruler, kings, you know, you know, so it gives you quite a lot of coverage,
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing all this, because real life is woven into your career, into your into your beliefs, your faith, into your home. So in all, it just encompasses being whole.
Yeah.
You know, you have a good profession, you have a good family, you have a good ministry.
Yeah.
So it just sums up
it's actually about the spirit of excellence. When you have the spirit of excellence, it must be reflected in all you do.
All aspects.
Whether you are in the workplace, whether you are in the church, whether you are at home, you know, the things you learn, you know, from your faith, you know, without having to open the Bible, should come out, so that people
by their fruit you will know them.
It should come out, and you can show examples of how to do things. In terms of conflict resolution, there's a lot of it that I studied in the Bible that allows you to know how to support people when you know there are difficult situations to manage. So it's about being, like you keep saying, about being a whole man, and you know, and then I say this continues forever, you know, because we must, you know, what we are taught in the church is that God wants us to go from glory to glory. So maybe before I go into the COP ministry, because I'll still be talking a little bit about journalism. I said it has affected my ministry as well. At the beginning of this show, I gave an endorsement to your show that I don't miss it, and that endorsement is just not because I'm your dad. It's because of my professional capacity to endorse, you know. So it's beyond, it's as a father, yes, then, but as a professional, that's I look for certain things, and you got them.
Thank you.
So
so before we go to the next section of our chat, I know you're really enjoying this chat as well as we're enjoying the cooking. So Daddy, let's just have a quick look at our yam, just to make sure everything is in order. Even though you're chatting, you're still keeping an eye on what you're cooking. You have to concentrate, because there's a lot to talk about. So we don't want to ignore the food we're cooking.
And that's talking about emotional maturity. That's talking about multitasking. You know, as you go, you learn how to do so many things at the same time. But you grow into it. And then you learn as you go.
Rome wasn't built in a day, so you get better.
And I should say that wives should encourage their spouses when they're in the kitchen, particularly if they're just starting off to cook. Just accept it as it is to start with, and then progressively, Rome is not built in a day, you said. So as you encourage, I've been encouraged, so I've been getting better and better, you know, in all these things.
So that's advice for the women out there and the single ladies out there. Even though your man doesn't cook, but they've heard, now they think, okay, I will try. Whatever they make the first couple of times, you just have to eat it like that, and
with love.
With love. Whether there's enough salt or whether there is burnt, just eat it with love and do not complain, because complaining is discouraging. Although with love you can advise, but don't complain, because it's really discouraging to them. And men, if they encourage you, it means you need to do more, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Encouragement helps everybody. The more encouragement you have, the more the zeal comes to you to
do more.
Not just about cooking, about, you know, cleaning the house, about tidying up things, and just making sure, you know, cleanliness is next to godliness. So, you know, all these things we need to learn.
We need to be whole. Yeah. We need to be whole. I think our yam is doing okay. We'll just carry on chatting, Daddy. Yeah. I just wanted you to shed a little bit more light on Christians United in Prayer, COP, your ministry, our ministry.
Okay.
You mentioned it already earlier on that you retired, but you're doing this and you're doing that, and you're into X, Y, and Z. So many things. You're into so many things, which is very encouraging. Tell us a little bit about COP. At least to those that may be hearing COP. What are you talking about?
COP as in COP. C-U-P,
Not this kind of COP.
Yeah, you know, Christians United in Prayer. Christians United in Prayer is a mobile ministry. It's not I don't want to use the regular kind of church, because I don't want you to misunderstand. It's a church. Anybody, any union of believers is a church, Christians coming together. But we are a mobile ministry. We do not have permanent members. God told us to set up this ministry actually to support Christians in all churches. So we have programs that will reach out to churches, whichever denomination they belong to. The essence of it is to equip more skills, because whether we like it or not, no one church can do it all.
Yeah.
So the more the merrier. When you have people, the only thing is that anybody who's not called to do it for God will fall flat. Yeah. So, but we thank God that we have carried this vision for close to 30 years, and it's been going. Now we do a lot of online services, Facebook, YouTube, called Name It, get versatile.
And COP is online, as you said, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just go on Facebook and look for Christians United in Prayer, COP. No matter what denomination you are, they're like a support system for
for everybody.
For Christians.
And it is, when God gave us the commission, said we should go out there for the copies for the development of the total man, which comes at we have spiritual development at the very core of COP. So we teach Bible principles from the Bible. Those principles are not just for the church. They are for everyday living. So we support people in terms of their spiritual development, their emotional development, their intellectual development. We encourage physical development. That's why I talk about physical exercises all the time. That's why I also am into a lot of...
You're into walking now,
Yeah, walking. Averagely, I do 10,000 steps a day. If you live in the London area, you can imagine, at least regularly, I do from Erith to Woolwich town center. That's quite some distance. I'm not saying start like that, but
you can start with a mile a day.
Yeah, you can even start walking around your neighborhood. But just make sure you cover some distance, you exercise yourself, you have some fresh air. No matter how cold the weather is, you can still do a little bit. When the weather is very fine, you can do a lot more. This temple, this body is the temple of God. We need to keep it fit so that the Holy Spirit can work adequately, the way God wants it.
It goes back to the wholeness.
It's about wholeness.
You have to be an all-round person.
You have to be.
Imagine if you were so rich yet you couldn't lift a thing. Yeah. You couldn't walk, or you couldn't do anything by yourself.
Or you are very rich, but intellectually you are not able to.
Yeah, so you have to build yourself all around.
And then we've seen leaders. Sometimes we've seen some world leaders that are rich, but you see the way they go about things, and I don't want to name names, but this all-round development, that's what COP is into. And we go from, when things are normal, we use other churches' facilities for once in a while meetings, but most of the things we do online.
Great.
We have a website, just that's www.copextra.org.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now done frying the yam. Have a look.
Dundun.
The dundun. It looks so delicious, and earlier on
great.
I said I didn't touch the dodo, the fried plantain, but all liars shall go to hellfire. I have tasted I have tasted this dundun, and ladies and gentlemen, one more, and then we can sit down and enjoy this meal, because seriously, this is such a heartwarming, such a happy meal that even if you're coming back from a hard day's work, imagine if your wife came back from long day or night shift and you said, my dear, just sit down, I will make you something yummy to eat, and you present her with this and the children, and you all sit down and you eat this. Imagine how many ticks, how many stars. Even as a woman, if you present this to your family at any time, you get stars and stickers. So it's such a comforting, heartwarming family meal that you can make for your family. So thank you so much, Daddy. Thank you for showing us that It's not that hard to cook as men and as women. Some women still struggle with some kitchen tasks. It's not that hard. Just follow some simple steps and you get better.
But just learn to enjoy. Just
enjoy what you're
doing.
Take
it one step at a time, and just enjoy.
It. Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
So we have one more dish. More item to prepare to complete our meal.
That's the sauce.
That's the sauce. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start preparing the sauce, which is the last item, and we would all, yes, you at home as well, we would all enjoy this meal together. Because seriously speaking, I'm looking at that yam. Look at the yam is looking at me and he's saying, Funke. Did I hear Funke? Was it you that called me or the yam? I think it's the yam. So I'm just going to be patient, and we'll make the sauce and we'll eat.
The sunbeam sauce. The sunbeam sauce is very special because the name sunbeam, which is coming with, is about a combination, myself and my wife. Right. You can't decipher it, so don't.
Okay.
don't go into that. But it's a combination, and so essentially it's talking about our family, which includes the children and their spouses and the grandchildren. So that's a lot.
Well, I can't wait to see this sauce. I can't wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, this special sunbeam, that is, anointed
egg-based sunbeam sauce.
Anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce is about to happen.
Right, so we have all the ingredients for the sunbeam sauce, and the egg is the base. We start...
Daddy, Sunday one. Daddy cracked his egg with a knife. Daddy cracked his egg with... I'll link a video up here where today and I had an argument about how do you crack your eggs. Daddy and Sunday are in the same team of cracking the eggs with knife.
Yeah. I've done it like this for a long time, so...
I'm sure today will be very pleased.
It works well. Yeah, well.
It works well. It does work well.
So there's no partiality in this, so that's the way it's come up. So it's all come together very well.
Okay.
And now we put the
spices.
We've gone through this earlier, so this is ginger. Depending on your taste, can be generous, but not too much. This again is about mentally assessing things, and you just have to get it right. But it doesn't come in one day.
Yep.
As you go on, in some books they'll tell you just use this.
Half a teaspoon.
Yeah, but
if you want 1 teaspoon, that's fine.
With the experience, you can do all things. Turmeric, we all know, and I'll suggest that do your research, find out what these things are. More. Life is about researching generally, so you get to know more about these seasonings in terms of the health values and the rest of it. Whatever I cook, there must be
there must be a bit of pepper.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's spicy a little bit. Yeah, at least you give it not that
not too hot, but
not too hot. Especially like I'm doing this in my mind, doing it for the grandchildren. But you can, for your special guests, for your visitors, or for the home as well. And like we keep saying, just be creative. And if you come up with some new names for the dishes you are creating, get back to TheBellas.
Yes, you can leave in the comment section below what you call your eggs.
Yeah. Just feel free. Okay, then. So that's the base ready.
Okay.
Okay, so we start with the olive oil. This is anointed. It's anointed sunbeam sauce with the egg base. If you're a Christian, I'm sure you know what it's all about. But if you are not a Christian, because I love non-Christians to be around me all the time to see how I do things, maybe the Christian way or generally. So
you're using olive oil, but it's okay to use any other oil if you prefer. Yeah.
But my preference is
and olive oil has its benefits, its health benefits.
So we introduce the other ingredients carefully. We might have to reduce the heat. So onion, and then you have to
ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're paying attention to the steps, how Daddy is making this sauce.
And then this mackerel. We talked about it earlier, so I'm sure we all have a clear idea.
So an alternative to mackerel is also sardines in the tin.
Yeah, some people will use sardine, but this is
mackerel is healthier.
Yeah, natural. But before I do that, I want to season this as well.
Okay.
Put some.
So ginger now?
Ginger, yes, ginger going into. The salt, but I'll put a little bit in the egg.
Yeah. So that should be enough.
Yeah. I'm always very careful with the salt.
Yeah, we all need to watch how much salt we eat. Yeah.
And then just a little bit more of pepper here. Just a little bit. Because we've already introduced some. Want this to cook a little bit before we introduce. Oh, okay. So at this point, we might just introduce the egg.
Well, seriously, I can't wait. And now I cannot wait any longer.
So we're getting there.
We're nearly there. We're nearly there.
We're getting there. At this point, you could cover it a little bit, but maybe we just. Need to pay attention to it, particularly at this point, so that it all cooks together very well. Boy, oh boy. The sunbeam sauce is ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce is now ready for us to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed watching Daddy cooking this meal. If you enjoyed this video, can you please click the like button and please leave a comment so we know you really enjoyed it. We'll put it in a plate now and we'll let you see it.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us all the way to the end. Daddy, I must say thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
coming on the show. Thank you for your words of wisdom, imparting men out there and women as well. Thank you for everything you do in the community as well. Thank you so much. And on behalf of TheBellas, your host, we would like to present you with this little token just to say thank you for being our special guest on Cook and Chat with TheBellas.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
We hope you enjoy the vampire malt drink in there and the other bits and bobs in the gift.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
God
coming.
bless.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Please leave a comment in the comment section as well. And if you're not subscribed to our channel yet, please do. Thank you so much for watching. Now we're going to enjoy our fried yam and fried plantain with anointed egg-based sunbeam sauce that Daddy prepared.
Great. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye. Bye.